the amount of people who've asked me, you excited to see Shedeur? It's very much up. Yeah, a lot of people talking about the excitement factor on Sunday night.
How do you not have excitement? Like that's kind of the...
You hate Shedeur.
Is that it? But even those people have to have excitement. Like
No.
I feel like Lima, who seems like I'm not going to say hates Shedeur because that seems pretty strong, but like Lima
maybe hates Shedeur's older brother.
He's just a little skeptical, maybe, we'll put it that way. But even he seemed like he was excited to at least see what Shedeur can do. I don't know. There's excitement here. There is excitement. Dillon Gabriel brought zero excitement. There's something here.
I think I will tell you, there is most of the personal conversations I've had with people have gone something like this. I don't know if it's going to be good.
Yes.
I don't know if it's going to be bad.
Correct.
But I do know that it's going to be incredibly entertaining.
We're flying
and
blind.
That's a step in the right direction.
We're flying blind, but at least we got... Sometimes we forget the idea of sports. The idea of sports at the heart of it is make me a bicycle clown, entertain me, give me something fun, give me something to enjoy my Sundays with. And I feel like in the past couple years, we've just dealt with so much bad, so much ugly, so much suck that we've kind of lost the focus of what these things are actually supposed to be about, which is the heart of it, which is just, am I enjoying my 3 hours on Sunday? And so this might stink on Sunday. I'm not sure. I tend to think it's going to go better than most people. No shock to anybody that's listening, but it's going to be fun. For 3 hours, it's going to be fun. And for a Browns fan that has been through the year and a half now that we've been through, I don't know why a Browns fan would be upset by that.
Yeah, I mean, I think my bare minimum expectations are be as good as Dillon Gabriel has been. So give me a 30 QBR rating or better. And make some plays. It's the make me a bicycle clown conversation we've had a million times. I don't think that's all that high of a bar for a kid that honestly had probably 4 nice plays on Sunday and probably, what would you say, 8 not nice plays or generally outrageously bad plays.
And like everyone watched the Raiders game last night, they absolutely stink. So like there should be the expectation there. In fact, I expect the conversation after this game, Nick, not to be that Shedeur had the world's greatest game or anything like that, but after watching the Raiders last night and how bad they looked, I know I'm not supposed to take these things for granted, but how do you not think to yourself the conversation afterwards will be the people that always complain like you're messing up the draft picks? That's going to be the convo. The people will be like, oh no, they weren't supposed to win this game. You're ruining our draft position. That is what I expect the convo to be.
Yeah, it's funny. We're still to the point where, and I understand that the draft pick conversation will come. You are spot on that. Where we are right now is, I know nobody like we 9367 on the YouTube chat saying 92.3 the Shaduki. He's the starting quarterback on Sunday, brah.
Well, that's another thing we got to get to as well. All the people, listen, there are times where it feels like we talk a lot about Shedeur. Okay, fine. Guilty as charged, whatever. But, like, he's the starting quarterback this week, and he has not yet started in a game in the NFL. Like, this is the week you get to talk about Shedeur. If there was ever a week that you get to talk about Shedeur, this is the week. So I don't want to hear any of that stuff this week. That's just, you just sound like you're out of pocket if you do so.
Also, it's the funniest thing in the world that the Browns are 2-8, unwatchable offensively, and I don't know this thing has ever been more interesting. Like, as 2-8 teams go, I'm incredibly interested in the final 7 games of the season because there's the Deshaun thing hanging out there. There's Shedeur Sanders, obviously. There's Kevin Stefanski's future, and even, I mean, there's people. I heard Jeff Phelps today ahead of the Mary Kay Cabot interview where he was like, I think Dillon looked better on Sunday. And I was like, as opposed to, like, at an 11.4 quarterback rating. But again, I think there's a lot of interesting here. It's not good interesting. But again, same thing with Shedeur on Sunday. Like, I think if we just go, will Shedeur play good or will Shedeur play bad? Man, I don't even know how to determine that other than if we just all agree on one stat like QBR or passer rating or something.
No, we've gotten too many stats is the problem.
Is it the eyeball test?
That's why I'm back to being an eyeball guy. I'm a gut feeling guy. I put my scouting hat on. It says scouting right across it, and then I'm basically John Gruden. What does my eye tell me? And that's how we have to look at these things, Nick. For right now, that's how I have to look at these things.
Just don't release any emails,
just a classic football guy. Yeah. Well, I mean, that comes with the territory of being a classic football guy, does it not?
I don't think so. I think
problematic emails aren't part of the course.
No, I don't.
I thought that was part of the deal.
No, maybe that comes with being an older person. Like, I think there's a segment of people who look at emails as something you can just say whatever you want, whenever you want, kind of like Facebook. But I don't know that comes with being a football guy, part and parcel.
You did remind me, I forgot to respond to a 92.3 The Fan listener that sent an email. I'm not like Jeff Phelps. I don't get these all the time. And so I was like, it was a very long email, but then the email happened before the game, and it was all about like finding out things about Shedeur, et cetera. And I'm like, well, this email doesn't make any sense anymore. Like the game played, he got in, and now he gets to start. The whole email is just rendered void. But I haven't responded yet. Apologies to that listener.
Do you agree? Like, I know Ken and Anthony today talked about expectation for Shedeur. My expectation is he'll be watchable. That's it.
I think watchable is good. I thought their take on it was different than what I was thinking.
All right, so here's Ken this morning on his expectation on what Shedeur will be on Sunday.
Shedeur is starting on Sunday. And the first thoughts I had, because I saw him struggle so badly on Sunday, was fear. I was struck with fear. I'm dreading Sunday. I really am.
I would love it if Shedeur, if there was some improvement each and every week and was able to get into a rhythm, and maybe he's able to find some cohesiveness with his receivers, and Tommy Rees can, figure out a play calling strategy that's going to work with him. But am I counting on any of that to happen? No. I'm expecting it to probably look bad. Not even because I think Shedeur sucks or anything like that. Like, I didn't think Joe Flacco sucked, and it looked like he sucked. That's why I asked Shedeur fans last week, are you sure you want him to get in this situation? Are you sure? Because he was a 5th-round pick, and if he looks bad, that could be it for his career.
Oh, no. Then I guess we'll have our answer. Why are we building either of these quarterbacks failing, if that's what happens, to be like the greatest Greek tragedy that's ever happened?
Well, so Lima's makes sense from Lima's point of view and where Lima's attacked this thing. So, like, that's fine to me. I understand that. Ken's is the one that throws me off just a little bit. Like, if you believed in Shedeur, and I got the impression that Ken had the entire time that we were doing this thing, what are you to be scared of on Sunday? Where's the fear coming from? Unless you just think that it's the worst offensive line in the sport and you don't have good enough wide receivers and you could throw Tom Brady back there in his prime and nobody's going to have success. But, like it's Sunday in a dome against one of the worst teams in football and a team that really doesn't have the defense to be able to scare you. They got Max Crosby, not much else going on there. Like this is the soft launch that you want for Shedeur.
Also, I think if Shedeur hadn't played on Sunday and Monday was announced Dillon Gabriel's in the concussion protocol and Shedeur's going to start on Sunday, every single person, not part of the Shedeur tribe, whoever that might be, every single person would be like, finally, this is going to be interesting. We get to see it. I think if you say, I'm terrified after a half of football, where the kid hadn't seen any reps with the one ever, I think you're putting too much stock into half a game of football.
I think so as well, because that's the only way you'd end up being scared is if you really took what you saw on Sunday and said, well, that's all he's ever going to be for this season. Maybe he'll get better down the road if he got more time, but this is all he's ever going to be, because there's no sense of fear that I have for Sunday. I'm living in the excitement world, and guess what? If he happens to stink, then okay, fine. He stunk on Sunday. Life moved on. But I'd rather see him out there have the opportunity, but especially against this really bad Raiders team.
I just think every time somebody massively reacts in the negative or positive on anything either quarterback does, it's like it's a 3rd round and a 5th round player. The odds of either guy ever doing anything in the NFL were long in the first place, and now you're putting them in as rookies. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not that emotionally devastated if Shedeur looks like Shaduki, to use the YouTube chat phrase there, on Sunday. I'd like, as you've said, life will go on. I'm expecting entertaining. If he's good and boring, I'll probably be madder than if he is.
Which doesn't seem possible with him,
like,
by the way.
Mid and unentertaining.
He was awful on Sunday, and every bit of that was exciting. I don't know it's possible for him to be a combination of bad and boring, unless too many people get in his head, and instead of throwing that pass to Larvidan, he all of a sudden decides to turn into the check down Charlie, because the film guys over the week in Berea were like, hey, and Njoku was there, Judy was there, now we have to do this. But I just don't think that's going to happen.
I just think it's interesting, like, the idea of, like, the problem with I expect Shedeur to be good, I expect Shedeur to be bad, is you got to put a number on it. Like, you have to, like, I've said, get to a 30 QBR or higher. Because that's what Dillon Gabriel's sitting at in 6 starts.
30 QBR? What about your passer rating? Do you have anything for that?
No, those numbers are... Because Dillon's got like an 80, 85, 88 passer rating.
No way he was that high.
That doesn't mean...
He had a couple games that were that high, but he didn't... That's not what his average is. Because I think like the career for Justin Fields is like an 83 passer rating, to try to give you some perspective.
81. He's got an 81 passer rating.
Oh, that is interesting because, again, like Justin Fields, I think his career passer rating is like 83, somewhere around there. I didn't realize his passer rating was that high. Passer rating is incredibly flawed, though. We need to just kind of put that out there. It's incredibly flawed. It just is what it is.
Yeah, I'm more of a QBR guy. And by the way, I hate both.
Which is wild. But I'm not that guy anymore. I'm eye test guy.
Well, no, that's the problem.
I'm now Sky. I got my scout hat on.
That's the problem. If you leave it up to eye test
on my hat, but it really says scouting.
This is the problem with Shedeur, and I think we found this, that if you leave it up to eye test, unless he's incredibly good or incredibly bad, people are going to leave with their predetermined feelings on Shedeur.
I'm a meatball sports fan now. That's what I am. That's what I want to be in this world. That's what
Johnny
I want.
Meatball.
Johnny Meatball sports fan. How did it look? Hey, did I go to the bathroom and miss 3 plays? I guess those 3 plays don't count. Doesn't matter. How's the eye test?
You know this is not going to work, right?
What's that?
Because you've got A dot and you've got B dot and you've got C dot.
Yeah, I know.
Is this just for
Carrington Harrison stop by?
We love C dot. Great interview with Jim Nance. I think we played some sound.
That's right. Yes, we did.
I don't buy it. No, I don't buy it. I think
you shouldn't buy
this
it. Every time I've said it, it's been in jest.
I think.
Why would you buy this?
I think.
Did people take me seriously with that?
I think when it comes to yes,
only you.
No song. However. Yeah, I mean, I think the problem with unless we establish, like when Ken said, I expect Shedeur to be bad.
Well, he had fear, and I just don't know how you have fear in this one. That's I'm just very confused by that.
I just don't.
If you believed in Shedeur in the slightest bit, you shouldn't have fear for this game.
I also just don't understand putting that much fear into a 5th round and a 3rd round quarterback.
It really isn't the end of the world. I mean, if he stinks, and then you just find out that maybe he needed a little bit more time, or maybe this isn't right for him at the moment because the offensive line is so bad and because the receivers are so bad. And so many people were always going to stink in this spot that, okay, fine, that is what it is.
Like, to the amount of people that were like, gotcha on Shedeur, it's like, you didn't get a damn thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you're like, the anti-Shedeur crowd has spent months yelling he's just a 5th round pick. So if he played like a 5th round pick, I don't think you really got anyone.
What's funny is that actually I had a friend that's I'll call a neutral party when we talk about the Shedeur stuff. Basically, yeah, they live somewhere
welcome to my country.
They live somewhere in the middle with you. They told me earlier today that they thought the anti-Shedeur people had become way more annoying than the pro-Shedeur people.
Yes. I think they.
I mean, both are annoying in their own special way.
So the funny thing is, I'm not annoyed by people individually, whether you do or don't like Shedeur, but I'm incredibly annoyed at the discourse. Like the reps thing is taken over.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have any reps thing, which again, the whole crux of the argument, you have to know what one quarterback got and what the other didn't. The whole crux of the argument is. Dillon has had extra special preparation to get ready for starting, and then he still looked like Dookie. So that's a problem. When you gave him first-team reps in camp, when you gave him first-team reps in the preseason, when you gave him first-team reps in the regular season, and then he still went out there and looked, at best, that's not great. Whereas with Shedeur, which again, Joe Flacco was the starter, and with the offense looking poorly, and Dillon got, whether it was 10, 15, 20% of the snaps in practice with the ones.
Right.
That's different than what Shedeur got, but the conversation has turned into, well, I experience every backup quarterback. And literally every backup quarterback, which, by the way, the Browns have had like 40 since 1999. I think we should just call every former Browns backup, give them a 5-second spot. Did you get first-team reps when you were the backup?
And they're probably all going to say no, but that's not the point. It is funny to think
we just need one to say yes.
It is funny to think that they're like, finally, somebody's asking for our expertise. Only we can speak to this, the backup quarterback land. And so you got all these bad backup quarterbacks that are just putting their thoughts out there. That is interesting.
I promise I'm not doing this to then crap on Brian Hoyer, who, by the way, was awesome with the Morning Boys today. Erase your phrase. Who, by the way, I think is actually doing a great job on his podcast, even though I don't watch it because it's about the godless New England Patriots. Brian Hoyer today weighed in officially on air with the Morning Boys about the Shedeur first-team reps saga.
I'm kind of shocked people don't understand how NFL practices are run and reps are given out, because there is no ones and twos once you get to the regular season, right? There is in training camp. But when you get to the regular season, all the reps go to the starters. And then what happens is, depending on the position, particularly linemen, because they don't want to give them every single rep, the swing guard or the swing tackle may sub in for 2 or 3 plays in a 12-play period. But this isn't college where you have 100 and some guys on a team. Like, you can only practice so much. And to give extra reps to a backup quarterback is kind of, when you think about it, like, you're kind of not putting your eggs in the basket of what you think is going to win. And I've lived that in many different scenarios. And so the one thing I would say is people just need to calm down, okay?
And yet again, this is where, like, Brian isn't in town. Brian probably doesn't know this.
Yeah.
The problem is Dillon got those first-team reps.
Right.
So Joe Flacco didn't get all the eggs in one basket. Since Dillon has taken over...
You're treating one differently than the other is the obvious takeaway.
And so I think that's why it's the conversation, not just... But again, I understand if Brian's just hearing the Shahive go absolute crazy about this.
And then he's just trying to inform.
Yes.
He's trying to be like, hey, this is how this works in the NFL, while obviously not understanding that this is not how it worked here in Berea, and it's not how it worked with the Browns in any stretch of what Stefanski's been trying to do here. Yes, does it seem like he's given favoritism to Dillon Gabriel? Spoiler alert, he has. That's the reality of it. If you actually hooked him up with some truth serum and said, hey, Stefanski, did you ever have any intention of playing Shedeur Sanders? Maybe that answer is no, but he still was the backup quarterback. And so because you made him the backup quarterback, you were always one hit away from appearing, and he should have at least considered that, and he didn't.
And here's the other thing. Like, I just... Because this is where then I go back at the Shahive, when they're like, well... But see, it's unfair. It's like, well, yeah, but that is also how the NFL works.
Right. But
it's not because of Shedeur. Much like the general conversation with Shedeur, I think it's people arguing with each other that has very little to do with the actual kid. I same thing with the parliamentary politics with the Browns organization.
The problem is that he clearly got what I would perceive to be an unfair crack of it all, and then a lot of people made sweeping judgments off of that half of football, which is also incredibly unfair. Now, this week, you can't bring the reps into the equation because he's going to have, starting on Wednesday, all the reps in the world with the ones, and he's going to have all sorts of opportunity to build up experience with these guys. So, like, that excuse just ceased to exist.
So that, I think, is the silver lining in all of this. When it comes to the reps conversation, when it comes to, like, the Shedeur playing does allow, one by one, for us to strike down the individual narratives that I think have gotten tedious to deal with. And again, people individually can believe what they want to believe. It's the idea that then the interaction becomes just built up, that it's like, what the hell are we doing? Like, anything that we tweet out on 92.3 The Fan, videos of the show, any of it turns into a conversation that is not the conversation that's being had.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is how social media videos tend to go. Mm-hmm. But with Shedeur, it's just heightened to a different degree. So I, for one, am thrilled that at least this week, the number one thing we can strike down, the conversation we can stop having, is Shedeur's not gotten any team reps with the first team because he's going to get them all week long.
Right.
And then him playing on Sunday is an extension of, well, how did he look after those first team reps?
Do you regret the Shedeur experience at all?
No, because I like the kid. Like, the funny thing is, and let's track the argument or the experience all the way back to the beginning. Mm-hmm. You want him with the number 2 pick. I said no. But like 33, yeah, I was probably more open to it. 35, 67, 92. Like, I wasn't exclusively anti-Shedeur. I just didn't think he was worth the number 2 pick. So once the kid came here, it was like, all right, well, let's see what he's got. And every time I've just been like, oh, if I just shut out the Shedeur noise, the kid, and I hate saying he's a grown man, but the young man seems like a really good young man. He seems like somebody that you would want to invest in as a human being. And then after watching him on Sunday, he played awful, but I understand why he's in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, it's tough as a fan to watch Dillon Gabriel play and throw inaccurate 5-yard out passes to the flat and then go, this guy's going to do things. And also, by the way, he also does a lot of other stuff not well. But the point is, it's tough to, like, there's nothing with Dillon that you're like, oh, man, like as a casual fan or as a Browns employee that you can really latch on to. With Shedeur, there's a lot of bad there, or there was a lot of bad there on Sunday. There's also a couple good things I think give you excitement. So no, I don't because I think the kid's worth it.
And hopefully we just have an exciting back half of the season and we get to watch him develop. But I do wonder at this point right now how many fans would be like, all the headaches, all the arguments, all the everything, was it actually worth it? Would you throw this all away? If you wish they would have just taken an offensive lineman in the 5th round and just never did anything around Shedeur. I would argue it's made the season more interesting. I would argue it's made a lot of our conversations a lot more interesting. But I think there's a lot of people that are just like, I'd trade it all away.
Now, would I go back into DeLorean and make sure you didn't draft either guy? That might be more of the conversation. Like if I could just not talk about 2 quarterbacks who are 3rd and 5th round quarterbacks. We
do the Joe Flacco into Kenny Pickett and or Kenny Pickett into Joe Flacco, whatever you wanted to do, and just make that the season?
100%.
Oh, that'd be so boring, though.
And no, it would be. You're right. But at least we wouldn't have that. But again, for there, I'm assuming you're going to use the 3rd and 5th round pick on
tackles or something?
On a Charles Grant.
It's the 3rd rounder thing that gets me with Dillon. It's like if they would have just taken Shedeur in the 5th round and they had maybe just taken an offensive tackle. There's still good offensive tackles in the 3rd round. A lot of players that play in the NFL on a consistent consistent basis, excuse me.
And a consistent
basement,
baseball.
that too. Baseball, basement, I don't know what I said.
Baseball.
I think I said basement.
Good Lord.
I might have said baseball. But on a consistent basis, there's a lot of them that play in the 3rd round.